Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Cole. If you are new here, this channel is strictly about the Honda Ridgeline, my adventures with the truck, modifications that I'm doing to it, and just some reviews. And today we're going to be doing something that I'm pretty excited about. We're going to be adding a winch to our Honda Ridgeline. And this winch isn't going to be going in the front of the truck just because there's not a ton of options at all for the Honda Ridgeline for a winch. The one option that I found was like $1,200 for the bumper and it'd be very invasive, so I'm actually going to be adding it to the hitch. So it's going to be in the back of the truck rather than the front, which does have some disadvantages in some situations, but I think this is the best option for this truck. So we're going to get the winch opened up here, and before we do that, we're going to get this opened up, and this is actually a little rack that's going to go into the receiver of the truck, and this rack is going to hold on to the winch and keep it secured. And the reason why I'm adding this winch to this truck is because I've only had it for a couple of years now, and I've already run into several situations where I could have used a winch. One of the situations was when I was in northern Idaho on a bear hunt. I was with Sarah and we got stuck for probably a couple of hours. It was a long ordeal, but we did get out, but the winch would have been really helpful. Another situation was that spring mud on the roads. I was just sliding off and on the road, and a winch would have been really helpful to get me out of that situation too. But we're gonna get them opened up and see what's inside. Starting off by opening up the rack. Got some instructions. And it's heavy. It's actually really heavy. This is the base of the rack, and we're just gonna be adding, I think, just some arms on the outside. We got our washers, bolts, and nuts in there, and these are the arms for the outside. We've got 4 of them, and not really sure what these are yet. Must be the outside of the rack, I guess. You'll want your winch carrier in this position with these sides facing up. I guess these are referred to as the carrier arms. We're going to be placing those on the outside of the carrier, placing a bolt in, a washer on the outside, and then a flange nut. I'm going to do that to the bottom as well. Says just to hand tighten for now until we get everything in place. And I think what we're actually adding is just carrying handles, because there's going to be 4 of these, one here, here, and then a bar going across here. That's what these are. And I think it's just to carry the winch. So the winch is going to be secured just on the bottom of this carrier only. But we'll see what we're getting into. I'm going to do the same to the other side. Now we'll add the arms to the other side. Just remember to keep them on the outside of the carrier. Next, we'll add the handles. So just placing those in between the arms here, and for this we'll have a washer on the bolt, and then we've also got lock washers that we'll put on the top there. But we'll tighten it all down shortly. And on the other side we will do the same thing. Washer, lock washer, and then the handle. Using a 9/16 socket, we can tighten everything up. So we've got this all put together, now it's time to open the box with the winch in it. We open it up, we've got our parts. I think this is to go to the battery. Looks like battery cables. Not sure what this is. Our hook. And then the strap that just goes onto the hook once we've got it all installed. Here is the big boy. It's really heavy. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's very heavy. Got the winch remote with the cable, and then this is just the mouth of the winch, or whatever you call it, that the cable will be going through. Or this is actually a synthetic rope. I went with that versus the cable just because I feel like the rope's a little bit safer. Just placing the negative cable on the bottom of the winch, and I'll tighten that nut. Alright, got that on, and the positive cable is already hooked up to the winch, so we don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to throw it right onto the carrier right away, so I think that'll simplify things for us. The winch and the carrier are both made from the same company, Rough Country, so everything should fit in together really nicely. But I think I've got it all backwards right now, so that's not going to help. I'm going to put the winch carrier on the truck already, just because I think it'll be a lot easier to work on. So otherwise I have to hold everything up and try to get the bolts underneath it. Okay, so we've got the winch on the carrier, and I'm just lining up the winch with the holes that are on the carrier, and then I can toss in the bolts. This is a little bit unique, but we've got these square nuts that we need to slide on the inside of the winch at the bottom. So I'm just going to be sliding that in there. I'll do that on all four sides because I don't think it's going to be very easy to access that once we've got it bolted down. The square nut that I can slide right into here, and it'll be ready for us once we're sticking the bolt in. There's not any instructions on how to do literally any of this, so I'm kind of guessing on what I have to do for most of it, but hopefully I'm guessing right. Once again, just doing a washer, lock nut, all on my bolt. Next, we're going to be adding this piece to the front of the winch. Got our bigger bolts, washer, locking washer. This definitely would have been easier to add before I put the winch on, so keep that in mind. I've just got that hand tightened. I'm going to do the same with the other side. Next we've got our hook. Just bend this pin, pull it on out. And we've got that attached. I'm going to bend it all the way over just to make sure it's very secure. Looking good. And this fancy little guy. Woo. Now we'll hook up the remote. Just a nice simple out, in on the remote, and that'll be hooking up to the left side. It's popping off this cap and should just plug right on in. If I can line up the holes. Oh, I was doing it wrong. There we are. Last step, I believe, is the battery. One thing that I forgot to add, I think this is where it's supposed to go, is just this piece of rubber. I'm gonna remove the hook quick and then slide that on. I don't know where else it would go. It's not in any of the pictures on the product, but this is the only thing that would make sense to me. I'm gonna slide this through. Yeah, I think that's gotta be right. Just so it doesn't pull the hook all the way into the winch. Maybe I'm wrong. If you guys wanna correct me, I would appreciate that. And let me know what it is. I think that's gotta be right though. Yeah. The last step is to hook up the battery. And this is gonna seem a little bit odd to you guys, I'm sure, but I'm not actually planning on using the battery on the truck. I'm gonna bring actually my trolling motor battery that I've got for my boat, just because, first of all, I don't think these cables are definitely not gonna reach to the front of the truck. Sure, I could get longer cables, but I don't really wanna mess with the truck battery in this situation, so whenever I go on trips that I think I might need my winch, or I'm planning on bringing my winch, I'll just bring my trolling motor battery. And by the way, you are able to drop the tailgate without worrying about hitting the winch. So I'll just keep the trolling motor battery right in the box of the truck. You can shut that. Let's see if it works. And this lever, we've got engage going forward, and then it says disengage if I go backwards. Oh yeah, you can see the winch is pulling out. So it's just free spooling. So I'll be able to pull that as far as I need to. I really don't have much to hook up to the winch to try it out, but got this nice jug of water. So I'm just gonna try it out with that. Pull out the winch a little bit. And this winch is rated for up to 12,000 pounds. So this jug of water should be okay, I think, today. I'm hoping sometime in the future I can try to winch some logs and just get familiar with the winch before I actually need it on one of my trips. But we're gonna try this out and see if it works. And I've still got the winch disengaged, so it's still free spooling. You can continue to pull out the synthetic rope. I'll switch it over to engage. And now I'm not able to pull any more out. We're gonna see if the remote works. Oh, actually I can push out here too. Oh. That's cool. Huh. And I'm just gonna be pulling on the rope as it's going in just because it's really loose and I don't want it to get all messy inside the spool there. There she goes. Nice. Now if I'm thirsty, I can just pop. Oh, right on the remote. That's stupid. Whoops. So that is our winch on the back of our Honda Ridgeline. I think it's definitely a drawback that it's on the back of the truck. For instance, I was at a boat ramp a couple of weeks ago with some buddies. We were going to go launch the boat down a boat ramp, but it was sandy, so we were a little bit nervous about bringing his truck down there. If I had the winch on the front end, we could just drag the truck up or winch the truck up using a tree, but since it's on the back end, it would be no use at that point unless you hooked it up to the tree and ran the cable all the way to the truck. Even though it's not on the front of the truck, I still think it's gonna be really useful having a winch on all the adventures. Anytime you get stuck, it's just like somebody's pulling you out. And that's it for our winch. It's all set up and it obviously works. Definitely gonna have to try it with some heavier items and eventually winch up the truck at some point, but I think it's gonna make me a lot more comfortable when we are on our adventures doing some off-roading with it. That way when we get stuck, we can pull ourselves right out. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And one thing to keep your eye out for is that we're going to be moving to Georgia here in the next 3 weeks. So we're going to be renting a U-Haul and hauling that with all of our stuff. And we're going to be loading down the Honda Ridgeline pretty heavily. I'll have stuff on my roof rack, in the box, and then in the U-Haul as well. So we're going to see how it's going to perform. But thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you then.